Hi everyone. So today, Jason and I went for a ride. It's Jason's second day of riding with me. I never really got to record his first ride, or I didn't record it properly. So we went to Lake Warramug, and he um, was practicing clipping on and off the shoes. And so Lake Warramug is a great location to just practice that because it's a fairly quiet road. And we he also got to, practice getting on and off, clipping on and off, and then also playing around with the shifting of the gears. So he, played around with that because it's his first time or second time um, riding on a road bike. And so I think it went well. So the first thing we did was we looped around the lake, and it was just a warm-up ride. How you feeling so far? Yeah, now I'm thinking maybe I should have worn my long sleeve thermals underneath this. Did you happen to bring your thermal one?
Well, I'm wearing it.
Oh, that's your thermal?
I'm wearing my thermal underarmor.
Some cows here. Jason's. And so I did a came up with this game called Catch Me If You Can. And the idea was for Jason to just um, ride and try to get as close to me as possible. So we did that. We did the first lap, the warm up lap, and then, he stopped for a pit stop, used the porta potty, came back, and he was good to go. And then he said, go at it. And so I I pedaled real hard, and he was trying to, and you could see in the video that he was really trying hard to stay close to me. But there were parts there where really, like, you couldn't even see him. You could see the flicker of his light from afar, and you could, he was apart. I believe he was probably 400 meters, 500 meters back at one point. And then sometimes he would catch up on the uphills, and then I would grind again on the downhills. So, if you start to see like, oh, that guy's really slow, just keep in mind that he is rehabbing his knee, and he's at the point where he's lost a significant amount of his fitness because of his surgery. So a lot of times there was just, I had, since it was a game and I get a little competitive, I checked my mirror on my bike and to see if he was catching up. And then when I see the light flickering, that's when I know, like, oh, he's coming up. And then I would start grinding again. And it was really windy that day. And I don't think the camera ever got a good view of how windy that day, yesterday or today, was. But it was pretty windy. Yesterday, actually, we had a pretty strong, and I think it was considered a nor'easter, but there was no snow. It was just really windy with gusts up to like 50 miles per hour. And so today, it's calmer than yesterday, but at the lake, it was just, there was one point or a couple points where it was shaded. There was no sun. And then we ended up just getting hammered by this like crosswind, and I could feel the bike just kind of swaying to the right when the crosswind would come and hit me. And there was this crosswind. I had to go up the hill, and then there was this crosswind that came from my right, and it was just blowing me down. And I just like, oh, I have to climb up this hill. And then, of course, once you get to the other part of the lake, then it becomes a headwind. And so it was really hard. I don't have a power meter, unfortunately, so I can't really say what my power was, but I know I was going pretty hard, and I felt like I was moving at a snail's pace. Um, so we did this horseshoe part where we kind of went hard, and then um, after that we did a cool down. So we did the second horseshoe part as a cool down. And so you could start to see Jason kind of approaching from the rear and getting close. So that was our cool down. And there was a point where there was this woman who was riding her bike, and I think she might have been in a hybrid, but she was going uphill and she was grinding on our uphill. And I kept thinking, well, like, I can't be, I have to get past this woman. And so I started to, start getting off the saddle and climbing up the hill because I get competitive. Sorry if I had dropped you, lady. And so you could see me actually just grinding away, and then I go downhill, and then I start to go in that arrow position downhill, and then I think I may have slightly dropped Jason, and then he caught up. I knew I had to slow down for him to catch up, but then I had to keep in mind that it was a cool down and it wasn't supposed to be going hard. But throughout that time, it was, despite it being so windy, it was a really nice day. It was cold, and you could see from part of the video that I had ear muffs or ear warmers on. They helped at a certain point. I was debating actually to wear either a sort of a thermal base layer underneath the fleece jersey, and I was like, it might be too warm, but I think I might have needed it. I had a gilet on, so that helped to keep my core warm, but my arms were starting to feel cold when the wind would hit us. But yeah, no, beautiful day, sunny for for parts of the ride, because there were part of it where it was covered because I believe there was a big cloud that was covering the sun. And so it was pretty cold and windy. And then we were able to enjoy ourselves at a cafe and had a double egg and cheese sandwich and a croissant, nice hot coffee. We really wanted hot coffee. I was craving hot coffee, definitely, throughout that ride. But yeah, so hopefully this Sunday, I ordered some gravel tires because a lot of the roads here in Connecticut there are parts that are gravel. And so we wanted to ride this area because gravel roads tend to be a little quieter. So we're going to try to ride this route, my normal route, and I'll take you guys along for a ride. All right. Thanks.